Hello, Leon here, and I wanted to share with you about the book, The Four Agreements. I was reading it this morning again. I picked it up. I've read it before. This morning I picked it up again. It just the second agreement that I read about just really resonated with me. Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements, is the book, and the second agreement is about not taking things personally. This has been a struggle. Well, you'd say it's been my life in years past, but I've recently come to overcome it. And he basically talks about when someone gives their opinion of you, they are sharing it based on the agreements that they have made in their minds. So it's basically, if you take that personally, you don't need to take it personally for starters, because they're basically sharing with the feelings and emotions that they're feeling at that time. He also shares that, when somebody comes to him and says, Don, you are the best, he doesn't take it personally. He doesn't feel better about himself if somebody says that you're the best. Or if somebody comes to him and says, Don, you're the worst. It doesn't change the way he feels about himself, because he already has the opinion in his own mind of himself, and that's branded to him. And when I found this truth, it really changed my life as well. And I wanted, I wanted to share this little bit with you, and a little bit of my story, my background. And maybe you've read my story. I'll share more of that sometime. But just a little bit. I grew up Amish. Grew up in the Amish lifestyle, and in that way of life, if you know anything about it, a lot of it comes from, most people it's very structured, so you tend to live by rules and regulations and what you think other people think of you or expect of you. And that's really where I came from most of my life. Not necessarily that I want to say that everybody lives that way, but for me, that was the case. I got really good at reading people, knowing what they wanted, and then delivering on it. And it kept people happy for the most part. It kept them happy, but it never took me to the place that I needed to be the best version of myself that I wanted to be. It never got me to dive into myself and even know what I wanted out of life. When I first started realizing these things, I would come out, I wouldn't even know what my dreams and goals would be. I didn't know what I wanted, because I had lived most of my life up until I was 30 years old, living the life that I thought other people would be happy with me if I lived that way. So this chapter has really, really resonated, really hit home with me. Maybe it resonates with you as well. You can read more of my story. On Facebook, I wrote my full story out, and you can read that sometime if you want to. But I wanted to share with you just a little bit of these points and what, how we can, Don talks about many other things of how to not take things personally. When we don't take things personally, we can live through in hell, or basically hell here on earth. We can live through that and not even be affected by it, because it really doesn't matter what other people think or other people say about us. And it really goes in direct connection with what Chris Rushlow, one of my business partners, was talking about last night on an all-in call that we had. He was talking, we were talking about people and connecting with people either by email or if you talk to them. If you send out an email, we were talking about hurting people's feelings or not wanting to make people mad or piss people off, with your emails, if you're emailing too much or what you're saying in your emails. And it kind of came back to the old saying that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So basically connecting, being yourself, comes back to being yourself, finding out, really understanding who you are, what you like in life, and don't take things personally. Don't live the life that other people expect you to live. Live your life that you expect yourself to live, that you want to live, that you achieve those goals and dreams. Live that life. Doesn't matter what other people think or say. And don't be affected by their words. I mean, you're going to get negative feedback from everybody, from people throughout your life. Doesn't matter how perfect you try to be. But when you really dive into that, your life, and really get into how you feel about yourself, that's the way we overcome. That's the way we can be happy through hard times and through the good times as well. Like Miguel was saying, it doesn't matter if somebody says you're an angel. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make you go on a high for, an emotional, make you feel a lot better about yourself. If somebody says you're the devil, doesn't really matter. If you feel good about yourself already, or if it does affect you, it doesn't last as long. At least I can't say that I never get wrapped up in people's emotions, or when people don't agree with me, or they have their own opinions and things. It does affect you, and especially I've done been in sales in the last few years as well, and you get a lot of no's. It doesn't change to start with. I went through a period through that business that it really affected me. It really got me down, hearing no's too many times. But if you persist in it and you pursue your dreams and your goals and you stick with it long enough, then you are going to find the answers. And don't worry about what other people think. Now I'm surrounded by a group of people where we can bounce things off of each other. If we go through a rough patch in our life, we can actually. And I mentioned it briefly. Chris Rushlow is the one of the leaders on the team. But I'm surrounded by a group of people, and if you want to know more about what I do and a little bit of how I connect with how we support each other and help each other go through these times, you can click on the link below and look at it. But I really recommend you read the foregrade if you haven't already. A lot of people, when they start reading Don's books, Don Miguel Ruiz, when they start reading his book or start following him, they read this book first. This is kind of he's got some more books I'm going to get into here soon, and I'm sure I'll be sharing more of those then coming in the future. But check out the link below and shoot me a message on Facebook, and I would love to hear from you as well. And so check it out. I'll talk to you soon.